Hello and welcome. So here we are, welcome to the Dean Heritage Centre. Right there. I remember standing there when I was 6 years old, looking out over that, and of course it seemed much bigger when I was 6. Yeah, I remember sort of looking at that with my grandparents, so yeah, which was the first time I came here. So I'm going to go in, and I know you've got to pay to get in. I can't remember how much it is, so I'm going to go and have a look, and we'll have a wander around. So I've paid for an annual membership, which I used to do because I think I'm going to come back. Now, this is the first bit, and I was just thinking, has it changed? And it has. The layout has changed. These taxidermist animals used to be over there, I'm sure. But I was just looking at something I think it's quite interesting. The Forest of Dean, I could be wrong, but I think I'm not. If you were born in the forest, you had the right to free mine. There's somebody's plaque that they've got there. But, yeah, it's quite interesting. So there was a story, I don't know how true it is, that the maternity hospital was closed down to stop people being born in the forest, so they couldn't do mining. I don't know if that's true or not, actually. I think it was just a bit of family folklore. But yeah, so these have been the same ones now that I saw years ago, and this lovely guy here, this badger. Badgers, I actually like badgers, but I don't like the fact that a badger once killed my MX-5, which it did. I was driving along one day, and just slowly as I did, and this dead badger was in the road, and I had no choice but to drive over it. There was a lorry behind me, and so yeah, I ended up losing the car. That's what sort of destroyed it, I think. Oh, look at him! Oh, isn't he beautiful? So look at that, those old signs there. Proper metal signs with actual embossing. Which I don't know if they still do that anymore. Everything seems to be printed now, doesn't it? So there's some galleries upstairs, which we're going to go have a look in a minute. But I think this is the old Victorian schoolroom. In here, I came in here when I was, we came on a school trip, and the master pretended to cane somebody. Matthew Williams, that's it. Matthew, if you're watching, I remember this, and Matthew Williams was taken outside, and he was told to scream, and the master, that's all that's left of him, I think, he literally whacks the wall and he screams. But I remember sitting there. That's so incredibly cool. I remember sitting there. Yes, and we had to put hats on and things, so some of them here. Yeah, we actually had to put those on. Wow, it's and of course that isn't out of date, because this is a Victorian schoolroom. Oh, look at this clock, that's magical, that is, look. So you would open the glass front and you actually wind it up. You wind it up through there. Oh, this is rather magical. I remember being in here when I was a child. This is lovely. Right, let's go outside. In my lifetime, we've done away with coal boxes, but I remember when I was, a young boy, I remember we used to carry 10p pieces, and when people say now, well, didn't you just have your mobile phones, No, there weren't any. You carried a 10p piece, and a 10p piece was about that big. So, tracks from mining stone wheels, I think. I've been up to those loos many a time. So, education room, this wasn't here. I think it's locked actually. Right, so yeah, you can't go in there. Yeah, there's a few things that they've really tidied up. Including over there, they used to have real pigs. Those ones aren't quite so real. How do you do? So this is the ultimate thing for me. I would love to live in a little cottage just like this, middle of the forest, middle of nowhere. And let's go and have a look. So I don't know what you can see darkness wise, but this would have been the front room, and I remember my granny explaining that when she was a child, the front room was cleaned and made up and it was immaculate and nobody used it. Old Singer sewing machine, look. I remember buying one of those for my mum. She'd always wanted one, and one day I bought her one from a charity shop. And apparently they've got different numbers on them, and so you can actually trace, each one's got a serial number, and so you can trace the journey of the sewing machine. Okay. So that's the front room, and this is the kitchen. So this would have been where the actual so the business of the day, the lady of the house would have she would have had that going, and it would have been the lady of the house. Gentleman would have been down the mine. The lady would have been preparing food, and she would have probably sat there and did sewing, you know what I'm trying to say, and prepared the meals and looked after the children and everything. It's a flat iron there, look. So with those, you would actually put a piece of coal inside it, and that's what heated it up. Let's go upstairs. So, it is quite dark up here. Don't forget, no electric lighting. So, master bedroom, little cot, and look at that. That's the bath, and the hot water would have brought up there for you to have a wash. So the main bedroom. So let's have a look in the other room. Children's bedroom. Sleep top to toe in the same bed. Can you imagine that? But yeah. Right, let's go back down. Oh, let's have a look at the window. So, no twin tub or automatic washing machine in here. Bath, which I presume, is that the washing bath? I don't know. I think that might be the washing bath, that one. I think we saw the one upstairs that people actually washed in, so there we are. Took an entire day. Look at those clothes pegs. Or dolly pegs. And soap they'd have scrubbed the stuff with. and the mangle, and presumably that's the dolly thing that they used to turn to clean the clothes with. Well, I think that's the washing machine. Bulmer's cider. Yes, it's like stepping back in time. Well, it is quite literally like stepping back in time. Right, so out here, something has most definitely changed out here. Obviously this is where the family would have grown the vegetables, but there used to be an Anderson shelter here. Now admittedly that was 40 years ago, but that was obviously to demonstrate from the war era. But yeah, I'm definitely sure there used to be an Anderson shelter here. Shame that that's gone in a way, but and here I think is the bathroom, and I think it's locked. Oh, if indeed there's... Oh gosh! That actually made me jump. Now I also remember from the first time I came here, the watermill, and I remember thinking, my goodness, that's so noisy. And then after a very, very short space of time, the sound, you get used to it, the sound disappears. So they've actually got it rigged up to a power generator now, hydroelectricity. I'm sure it didn't used to be like that. I'm sure it was just a mill for whatever, but I don't think it was an electric, hydroelectric plant. But things change, things change. That for me, I could build my house there and I could listen to that all day. I really could. Absolutely wonderful. Right, so that's it for this bit. We're going to go back in now. We'll go upstairs and have a look in the top part of the museum, in the gallery, and then we're going to go on the trail. Now, although I quite like the Julia Donaldson stories, I'm not going to go on the Gruffalo trail just to say I've been on the Gruffalo trail, but I remember there was a lovely walk and some charcoal burning huts up there. So we'll go in, we'll have a look at the upstairs, and then we're going to have a little walk. But how fantastic a life would it have been? Your little cottage, grow your own vegetables, your own water supply. Yeah. If I could pick myself up and put myself anywhere, right here. So the adventure playground, I played on there again when I was tiny, and I can remember running it over. They had a little bridge with chains on it, like a rope and chain bridge with individual slats that sort of wobbled and was all rickety and what have you. I remember I had such fun running over there when I was a child. So the charcoal burn camp, I have seen that before, but that wasn't there many years ago. That's something that they did in the last sort of 20-30 years, I think. Free mine, we're going to have a look at that in a minute, and the adventure playground that way. But I think this is a Gruffalo trail. There you are. Silly old fox. Doesn't he know? No such thing as a Gruffalo. Let's go to the camp. So, oh, you can get up here, I think. This is the charcoal camp. Oh, where the charcoal burners would have burnt the charcoal, or made the charcoal, should I say. And these huts, they had to be close to where they were doing the burn, so they were allowed to build these little huts, which, as you can see, is sort of made from tree bark and strips of grass. Here we are, look. Live next to their stacks in huts like this one, sometimes with their families. Oh. I don't know whether Noah would want to live in that with me. I mean, I'm all for father-son time, but I don't think he'd get any Wi-Fi in there. I still say it. Silly old fox. Doesn't he know? No such thing as a Gruffalo, is there? That's not the bridge I used to play on. I wonder if, oh my word! What's left of it is still here, but it looks like it's long since rotted. It's here, look. That was the bridge. The one I used to play on as a child. And that is sad. That is sad that that's gone. Because I loved running over and back over that. I was going to go on it. Yeah. Brings me to the end of this little tour. It's been a nice little trip down memory lane, and I quite like doing videos like this actually, where I just go and remember the old days. This wasn't here, but I think it's a rather nice addition, and yeah, it's nice to be back somewhere familiar and to see there's just enough that's changed, but there's enough that still resembles what you remember. I'm sad about the bridge though, but I suppose we can't stay children forever, can we? Right, well that's it for this one. Thanks very much indeed for watching. I shall go now. I'm going to go up there in a minute. I've been told there's a cafe, so I might go and have a cup of coffee before I go home. But I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.